And our first case tonight is really a case in point, whether you can help us about the killing of a teenager. It's going to be a real test of what you can do to bring an investigation to a close that really up to now seems to have hit something of a brick wall. These days, this is all that Christine Jones sees of her 18-year-old son, Andrew. This sculpture was made after what happened to him on a Saturday night out in Liverpool.
You don't spill it down your shirt like last time, like.
Oh, it was a mess last time, wasn't it? You going to the game tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to the game, yeah. Should be a good game. Something's kicking off there. Let's come and have a look. With a head injury.
That lad's on the ground. It's my son. He was punched in the face, knocked to the ground, banged his head on the crib and died of internal bleeding. He was just out for a quiet drink with his mates. 3 years later, and still haven't got no justice for him.
Right, good morning, everyone. Just to bring you all up to speed, Andrew Jones was killed 3 years ago. We did get a man to court, but unfortunately the case fell apart at court. We've carried out a major review and we've re-interviewed all witnesses. And this is where we're up to. Andrew and his mates left the Barcelona club about 3:15 a.m. on Sunday, the 9th of March. And at exactly the same time, across town, at a club called The Other Place, 8 people were also leaving. Here's the CCTV. This is the group leaving The Other Place nightclub. We know who they all are. We've spoken to all of them. One of these people is just 5 minutes away from killing Andrew Jones. The question is, which one? So we've got Andrew and his friend walking along Hanover Street here, and the group of 8 walking along Gradwell Street here. As luck would have it, we actually had a couple of uniforms parked up in a police vehicle about here, and also a couple of taxis in the area as well.
I thought it was scoff tonight, mate. Packish.
Every time you talk about food, it makes me hungry.
And it's here, near this corner, that Andrew bumps into a member of the group.
Are you playing it? Oi! Hey! Yeah, leave it! Playing it? There's no Oh my God, guys! How do you do that? How do you do that?
Here are the 8 people who all say they were part of the group. One of these people threw the fatal punch. Let's discount the 2 girls. They say they were looking the other way anyway. That leaves us with 6 people. 4 of these people say they didn't see the punch. It seems they may have been looking the other way too. 2 left. Now, one of these 2 did see the punch. Unfortunately, he said he saw it come from behind him, and he didn't see who threw it. 1 left. Now, this man has consistently refused to tell us what happened. The fellow who says he saw the punch says the attacker was wearing a long-sleeved black top. And we've got a couple of taxi drivers who say they saw the same thing. But here's where it gets interesting. We've actually got 2 independent witnesses, both of whom say they saw the punch, and both of whom say the attacker wore a light-coloured top. So we've got a dark-coloured top and a light-coloured top. It doesn't take a genius, does it, to work out that someone in the group is lying to us. 2 of the group ran off in the direction of Williamson Square. Did anyone see them? Why are they suddenly so keen to use a telephone?
You related to Andrew Jones?
Yeah, why?
We know who done it.
What do you mean you know?
We know who done him. It was I'm saying that now.
Hey, I'll come back. What do you mean? He's back here?
You see, it's not just the two fellas in the sunbed shop. There will be other people who've talked about this and who know what happened. And I need them to come forward and talk to us.
I'm on antidepressants. Some mornings don't even want to get out of bed. Every night when I go to bed, I pray to God that I don't wake up. Because I don't want to wake up. There's no point. The day after Andrew's funeral, I tried to take my own life. I just felt like I just couldn't cope. And I still feel like that now. I just can't cope. People say to me, well, you've got other kids to look after. I'd sooner be up there waiting for them to come to me instead of me being down here waiting, watching them go up. This appeal on Crimewatch tonight is my last attempt to get justice for Andrew. So if there's anybody out there, please come forward and help us to do just that. I'm begging you. I'm begging you so much, my arse is aching for you to come forward and help us.
Well, hearing Andrew's mum there, anyone who's got half a heart, who's shielding his killer, really has got to think about this and what they're doing to the family. It's 3 years on, but the police aren't dropping this. Now, as things stand, you've got 8 people out there. Someone's dubbed them the Liverpool 8. And I just don't believe that they didn't see it. But if 1, 2, 3 or more of them are having second thoughts and are prepared to speak to you now, it's difficult for them, isn't it? Because they've told you up to now they haven't seen anything.
Well, my main focus is actually to catch the killer of Andrew Jones. And through the reconstruction tonight, it may be we jog somebody's memory from the group. It may be they get a pang of conscience. I'd be welcome them with open arms, really, to come forward and speak to us.
Now, if they don't, if they continue not to come forward, I mean, presumably, in months or years to come, there's a very serious charge. There's a conspiracy issue here about keeping quiet. There's obstructing justice. There are all sorts of offences people could conceivably be charged with.
Yeah, I mean, if I get evidence of any conspiracy, whether it be from the 8 people involved or allegedly involved, or whether it be from people outside that group, then I can assure them quite clearly that Merseyside police are going to follow that up very vigorously.
Now, there are people outside that group because they were there at the telephone. They realised they'd done something wrong. This doesn't look like a premeditated murder in any shape or form, so this will have spread like wildfire through their friends. A lot of people will know who did this. As we saw, a couple were trying to split on them quite early on.
Yeah, well, the group will have talked about it themselves and convinced of that to each other. The offender will have told somebody, whether it be his girlfriend, his parents, somebody within his family and his group of friends. So I would urge that one of those people, or all of those people, really to come forward and tell us about it.
Well, presumably, some of these people, and certainly whoever threw the punch, will be praying that this dies down. It's 3 years on. I think they'll be quite surprised that you're still pursuing this as vigorously as you are.
Well, Merseyside police aren't in the business of dropping an investigation into the death of any individual. And when I retire from the police, somebody else will be picking this up.
Are you serious?
I am serious, yeah. Somebody else will be picking this up, reviewing it regularly, looking at the forensic evidence, can we advance any forensic issues, looking at the witness statements regularly, and pursuing it until we actually find this killer.
You think you are going to find who did it?
I'm convinced we will, yeah, with the help of the community and with the help of the people who are actually there.
You are getting a lot of help from the community because there was a petition, literally, thousands of people signed a petition to get this on Crimewatch. Now, in fact, we were looking at the case anyway, but, I mean, sure, we were much impressed by that. You must have been as well. This is an open sore in Liverpool. It just won't go away.
Well, we can only imagine what the parents of Andrew are actually feeling. What we can do is empathise with how frustrated they are, and the community are frustrated as well, because they know that we know the group who did this. We just can't prove it against one individual. And the people of Merseyside actually look after their own. So the community is tight on this and is actually with us in solving it.
Supposing the guy who threw the punch says, look, this is not going to go away. I accept that. I'll come forward. But look, I punched the guy. That's all I did. I didn't intend to kill him. What's going to happen to him?
Well, at the end of the day, I can't say exactly what the courts will do. But certainly, from my perspective, that would be the honourable thing to do. It was one punch. It happened at the city centre on a busy night, on a Saturday into a Sunday morning. And so I would urge the individual really to look at his conscience, to come forward and speak to us.
Maybe look at what the Crown Prosecution Service and indeed what the jury will think. Rather better for you if you come forward yourself. And anyway, we say it again, if you are one of those Liverpool 8 or know them, who they are, what happened, if you've heard about who did it, please give us a call. No act of loyalty to whoever threw that punch that killed Andrew could outweigh the agony that it's putting his parents through. Please, if you know something, tell us, call us here in the studio, or call the Instant Room on 0151 777 8676. And you can see this and other numbers and cases tonight on the website, which is bbc.co.uk/crime.